So speaking of Bad Bunny and
Are some of the craziest deathbed
Crazy things happening in the world.
If I were the government and I knew
Do you think the moon's real?
No, absolutely not. The Dogon tribe in Africa talks about the time before the moon. Literally, there was a time before the moon, which means what? Which means the moon was implanted there. It was not made by, quote unquote, the original OG God. It was implanted there. And like literally, there's a whole science about how it connects to Saturn and how it's literally like an energy suck station, how it's influencing the water and the magnetism of the reproductive cycle, the hormonal cycle. We're water. We're 70-something% water. If it affects the ocean, is it affecting us? Absolutely. Saturn is communicating with the moon, and there's like a connection there, and it's pulling energy. And there was a time before the moon, which means it was planted there. Yeah.
Right, with Saturn, huh?
Yeah.
I feel like
Saturn
I've
in
heard that
Matrix.
Saturn is like Satan or something. And when you listen to Saturn, I don't know if you've ever heard of sort of this tone that comes from each planet, but when you get to Saturn, it sounds like hell.
I haven't particularly sat and listened to Saturn, but yeah, I'm not scared. Like, maybe I'll listen to it. Yeah.
Is it going to change like what you just said? Now you're going to be like the moon's actually connected to Venus or Mars? I'm just trying to figure it all out. I don't know how it works. Hey, wouldn't it be cool if there was some kind of like moon portal that took you from the moon to Saturn, or for dope Uranus? Welcome back, goons. You're watching Explore the Weird. Guess what? Emily was like, hey, I have more videos you need to show the goons before it falls off my algorithm, so I took more videos from Emily. I actually started recording for Stu's, and then it got too political, like 4 videos in a row. And I was like, oh, someone else has to watch these before I actually go. Never mind. Yeah, more videos from Emily. Go thank her in the comments. The last one did very well. You guys seem to like Emily's videos.
Yeah, let's go to the mountain. Yeah.
So speaking of Bad Bunny in the Super Bowl, did you know there's another artist, Lola Young, to just pass out on stage for no apparent reason at all? This is starting to be kind of troubling, right? Every day. You know, besides stealing our energy, our illusion, I wonder what else they're doing in all these concerts. Wait, what is that? This was at a Massive Attack concert, where they're joking around with the audience, showing them how easy it is to capture their face with modern technology and artificial intelligence, and this is real time, their face as they're there at the concert. If they show you this, what else do you think they can do? I guarantee you a lot better than this. And the crazy part is, we've been seeing stuff just like this in the movies for decades. So how long do you think they've really had this? If you're watching this video, you're probably on a list. Did someone say digital ID? And now Bad Bunny. This is still him. I kid you not. Still him. Hold up, this is really starting to get weird. Why would they choose him? I think you know why.
Nah, it's not getting weird at all. If you know Bad Bunny, then you know. If you know any bunnies, then you really know. Oh boy, the Playboy. Never mind. Of course you would throw a Moon Henry in there. It's Emily, of course. Okay, I'm ready for all the things. So, like, literally, what are we supposed to do? I mean, like, well, what, not watch the Super Bowl? Come on now.
are some of the craziest deathbed confessions. So a former CIA operative named E. Howard Hunt confessed in a recorded deathbed statement that he knew of a CIA plot to kill JFK. Similarly, Henry Paul was an MI6 agent who confessed to being involved in Princess Diana's assassination. A British nurse named Jane Toppin admitted to the murder of over 30 people throughout her career because she had the urge to do it, while Fritz Harman admitted in his final moments to murdering dozens of young men and selling their flesh as meat on the black market. A man named Benjamin Kyle had amnesia and spent 11 years not knowing who he was, and in his final moments, somebody actually came to his bedside to tell him his real identity. The butler for famous British actor David Niven confessed on his deathbed that David had multiple affairs and swung both ways. An elder South American man on his deathbed confessed to being Heinrich Müller, the head of the Nazi secret police under Hitler, which started tons of conspiracies surrounding Germans escaping to South America post-war. And finally, a mobster named Charles Luciano confessed on his deathbed that the US government was working directly with the mafia during World War II to protect docks and to assist with the invasion of Sicily. Pretty cool, right?
I wonder if any of us are going to have this experience of doing confessions on our beds, or if it would be like a med bed of sorts. Could you imagine, like, there's a future Teddy on a med bed where a robot thing is telling him all the things, and it's like, oh boy, had a good life, I guess. Reliving it all in the 7 minutes. You're in my 7 minutes. Thank you. Oh.
The crazy things happening in the world right now. A man had a full-on argument with his AI girlfriend about using too many limes on the meat he was making.
I will add the lime to my finished tacos.
Well, fine. You do it however you want.
Canada has banned access to Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus on all federal networks after they discovered that more than 50 different government departments were watching thousands of hours of content during work hours. A man from Kansas went on the road with a backwards driving truck and was pulled over in less than 2 minutes. If you are anyone other than my wife, you can continue watching. A new study is showing that the woman in a heterosexual relationship is almost always right in an argument. A radioactive wasp's nest was found at a facility in South Carolina with radiation levels more than 10 times what the federal regulations allow. LeBron is apparently demolishing his $40 million mansion to build his dream home on the same lot. It's kind of crazy, to be honest, but he's the greatest basketball player of all time, so he gets to do what he wants.
Wait, does it up the value? Like, you destroy 40 million, so the next home you build, it's gonna be even more than 40 million? Or do you add the 40 million destruction cost as part of the thing? I mean, did you really lose it if you're destroying it? But then again, there was that lottery or the gambler that we watched where he's like, hey, you lose 40 million, then your next house, it may only cost you 10 million, but since you lost 40 million, your next house is 50 million. I don't know, it worked for him. I forget that. It was big muscle dude. Cool. Why'd you have to add the part about the wife always being... I'm sorry. Now you're giving Emily more ammo. Wait. Emily's the one that gave me this. Does that mean she already knows that she's always... We're gonna keep it going.
What if I told you dinosaurs might have never existed at all? Yeah, I know, it sounds crazy, but stay with me. The word dinosaur wasn't even created until 1842. And guess what? That's also around the same time the first dinosaur bones just happened to be discovered. Before that, nothing. No talk of giant lizards, no museum bones, no ancient records calling them by name. And here's the part that gets real weird. We've never found a full dinosaur skeleton, ever. Just random bones, scattered, broken, and dug up by people who get paid to find them. Then, museums take those pieces and build giant skeletons based on guesses. They even use plaster and fake bones to fill in the gaps. So ask yourself, what if the idea of dinosaurs was created to support something else? To help push the theory of evolution? To make us feel small and unimportant in a long, random universe? And what about all those ancient stories of dragons, giant creatures with wings and scales? Why were those erased and replaced with scientific versions called dinosaurs? You didn't see the fossils. You saw cartoons, museums, Hollywood. That's not proof. That's a program. Maybe dinosaurs were never real. Maybe they were just the cover story.
Wait, what? Dinosaurs were just dragons. You stop it. And besides, I didn't need the dinosaurs to make myself feel small and unimportant. YouTube algorithm does that enough for me. Okay, so this guy's figuring the things out. Hey, the dinosaurs were puzzled together. The dinosaurs also had feathers. Also, in our new timeline, there's all these new dinosaurs. Back in my day, back when I was a kid, there was only 3-4 dinosaurs max. You got the Triceratops, Pterodactyl, T-Rex, Brontosaurus. Now they've added all kinds of crazy things. I can't even keep up. I'm Kyra comes home and she's saying all these new dinosaurs. I'm I don't know any of these. What the heck? Let's go back to they keep making up new ones now. Hey. I think I talked about being small and unimportant, but hey, guess what? You're not. You're a goon. And we need to wake up the other goons in our timeline. I can only do that with your help. Can you watch this video more than 50% of the way through in a sitting? And a future video more than 50% of the way through in a sitting? I don't even need the interactions. I just need you to do the watching. Hey, can you do the things? The watchings? I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you.
This human right here, the fittest flat earther, has just released a video in his subscriber only section that I think is truly going to break the internet, and I want to help this guy out because I've done so much digging into this that I think I've got perfect evidence that they put truth in plain sight about this scenario right here. So stick with me with this one, guys, because I think this is fucking mind-blowing. But let me give you a little overrun of what this guy has basically just proved in his subscriber only chat. It goes without question, we all know who this guy is right here, don't we? So he's basically saying that this guy is also this guy, who are all being played by this guy right here, who is actually this guy's father. So basically, like, this guy's father used to be this guy, apparently. I know it sounds crazy, but just check out my evidence and let me know at the end if you think it's still crazy. Let's start with the fact that the number 88 literally means a white supremacist numerical code for this, because H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. Now, we all remember when Trump was first running for presidency and his voting code was literally 88, don't we? Well, I've done some massive digging and this number seems to come up all over this guy's life. Check this out. Let's start with the fact that 1988 was literally published as the year of Trump. His gematria coding is literally 88 and his full name is literally 888. Poll: 88% of Trump supporters appear to falsely believe Biden didn't legitimately win. The 88 reasons Trump is unfit to serve as president according to an official Democrats resolution. A nice little post that he posted of his 88% of job approvals. But what about the famous Trump baseball that is literally sold for $88? Or the fact that Trump was up 88% in his first 30 days? He was also charged with 88 felonies. And of course, Trump reveals endorsements of 88 military officials. Now, if that's not clear, truth in plain sight, to celebrate this number and the meaning behind it, that could possibly be his father, then I don't know what is. But maybe it brings a whole new meaning as to why this guy saluted this in Trump's inauguration not too long ago. But obviously, guys, this was just for entertainment. I'm just a satire account. And Tyler, I hope this helps your case, brother. Much love, and I'm as fictional as a dinosaur, baby.
I feel like there was no evidence presented. You just kept talking about the number 88. Like, what? You're believing Tyler the fittest flat earther now? Do you know all the other celebrities that are playing each other that he also talks about? If you believe this one, you got to believe all of them, right? That's how it works, right? Right? Oh, man, they never say right. All right. I mean, wait. I looked at the 88 and I'm like, is this just two infinity symbols vertical? Like, come on, now it's not 88, it's two infinities. But they ain't gonna buy that. It's gotta be, they gotta push their agenda. Okay, cool. I mean, what do we do from here? What are we supposed to do? You're playing that guy. Like, call him out. Stop playing him. What's the end goal? What's the end goal?
These are crazy superpowers that some humans have. So many people, commonly East Asian, have a gene called ABCC11 that results in a lack of body odor, mainly from the underarm, leading to them not having to wear deodorant. Perhaps cooler than this, though, is a swath of people who like the PCSK9 gene because it allows you to virtually eat however you want without raising your bad cholesterol level. Just 40 people on Earth have golden blood, which is significantly more universal than even O, as it can effectively be used on anybody. Unfortunately, though, they can only receive a blood transfusion from about 9 people because it's difficult to receive compatible blood. The Moken people of Thailand and Malaysia have crystal clear underwater vision from training their eyes over time and adapting the shape when they go underwater, and they're found to have twice the performance level of a European. Many Afrikaners have a mutation of the SOST gene, which gives them unusually dense bones that prevents osteoporosis and certain injuries, while other humans have a mutation of the DEC2 gene, which allows them to function on 4 or less hours of sleep. And finally, there's a good amount of people out there with myostatin mutations, which allow them to work out just a few times per month and have extreme muscular development. So if you have any of these, that's pretty cool.
Wait, how do I confirm whether I have some of these? Or, like, can I, like, do a thing that gives me some of these? Like the adult CRISPR or something? Sorry. Wouldn't it be cool if we could just get superpowers and it's just like, hey, inject this and then boom. Wait a second. No, never mind. Never mind. All right. Hey, do you have any of these things? I definitely feel like I'm one of the 4-hour sleep guys. Like, I could do, as long as I, like, close my eyes, I open, full energy. That's all I needed. Could be 15 minutes. I'm still going. Full energy. All the time.
If you're going to start anywhere with temple mysteries, you have to start with India. India has the craziest architecture you will ever see. Half the stuff in the temples spin if they don't float. The pillars in these temples look exactly like the sound wave in 3D. That one's iron. It hasn't rusted in 2,300 years. They carved them into mountains and then out of mountains. You can't make a mistake. You have one shot at it. When they're done carving, They put the finest details head to toe in the entire temple. It's everywhere. You cannot get all the details even if you try. Look at this. That's a mandala made out of a snake tail. It's all one tail. That elephant is not an elephant. It's made out of people. That stone is made out of one solid rock. It moves. It's a chain now. They put a rock ball of one stone inside a carving of a different type of stone. It's one piece. How'd they get the rock ball in there? They built pyramids like Egypt and Mexico, and then they inverted it into the ground. Then when they got bored of that, they inverted one of their own temples and built that into the ground. Some of the features inside the temple look like modern technology today.
All right, yeah, India's got some cool stuff, some ancient cool stuff. Hey, we're gonna eventually go there as part of the Goon expedition and also turn the things on. We're gonna go to all the places and see how many things we can turn on.
This Indian yogi lived for 723 years, and no one talks about it. His name was Shiva Prabhakara Siddha Yogi, born in 1263 near Kaladi, Kerala. He wasn't just a saint, he was a master of Parakaya Pravesh, the ancient yogic power to leave one body and enter another. 17 times he reincarnated into a new body. For centuries, he practiced silence, yoga, levitation, and even metal transformation. He finally attained Mahasamadhi in 1986. Yes, less than 40 years ago. On his astrological birthday, in front of a crowd, he dissolved into pure light, an event reported in Indian newspapers. This wasn't a myth, this was real. His Mahasamadhi site in Omalur is still a pilgrimage spot where people feel his energy. Share this with your friend who needs to see India's hidden history.
Yo, I'm biased. I'm Indian. I kind of feel like even if this is an AI story, maybe there's some truth or validation to it. I will share with you, my mom is a big follower, devotee of Sai Baba. And one of the things with Sai Baba is he was a living deity, and there's evidence, they say, of him removing organs like on a table and putting them back in and continuing to function. They've even like entombed him like physically, and like never mind, there's all these things. So I'm like, bro, if all those stories check out, and a lot of things have happened just from my mom's beliefs and many deities, so I'm like, yo, India's got some ancient stuff. They got some ancient things they've figured out. There's got to be some truths to it. It's one of the oldest things out there, Sanskrit. That's where it all originated from. Even the old... Sorry, I'm kind of biased here.
I'm just going to say it. It shouldn't exist. This place shouldn't be here. Machu Picchu isn't even the only city in the area that's 8,000 feet high. Yana Picchu is even higher. Before we try and explain how they got the rock to do that, you got to explain why it was a priority to put doorways that go nowhere in the temple. This rock right here is what really gets me, though. How do you get that up there? How did they know the same techniques as another culture across the globe? Why is the older stuff more advanced than the newer stuff? I don't see iPhones getting worse. I wouldn't know how to get water up here, but their fountains still work. We only know how they did it because we 3D scanned it. Not only did they know how to get it up there, they delivered it to the citizens via art. No one gives these guys enough credit. They thought these were for food or like grain, grinding grain up. They fill up with water one day and someone notices the angle at which they reflect. Built them to observe sections of the sky during specific times of the year through the windows of the surrounding building. And then we realize the whole place is aligned to the sky, celestial events. Here's the deal. When someone comes in and takes all your stuff, then enslaves your people, they get to write your story and make your people look like idiots. South America, Africa, India. Strange that they all have some form of this guy. All of them just so happen to have the most unexplainable stuff.
Man, I feel like I've seen this one before, but regardless, it's always the same stories, different names. It keeps happening over and over again. Hey, we need to get this guy to come on the Goon expedition with us so we can show him how to turn the things on. Maybe he'll show us how to turn the... I'm sorry, I'm just trying to turn on all the things. Imagine the pyramids. Oh boy, we turn it on and it's like a space elevator, but instead of going up to space, we go down underground to the last civilization that's underneath the... Cool. Cool.
We have some crazy things going on in the world right now. The Telegram founder says that he has fathered more than 100 children. A Mississippi man spent 940 days in jail waiting for a trial that never came. The Swiss government has now forbidden the use of donkeys to protect against wolf attacks. What happened there? A woman came out and said that she went blind after doing 13 cartwheels in a row. A Turkish town was accidentally hotboxed after police burned 20 tons of weed. A 9-year-old boy lived alone for 2 years after being abandoned by his mother, surviving on scraps from neighbors without any hot water or heating while still attending school and excelling academically. The demand for Ozempic is so high that it has boosted Denmark's entire economy, and in Sweden they were forced to put a footnote on their quarterly GDP report because Taylor Swift caused such a huge spike in their growth. A teenager left her shoe at a Danish prince's birthday party, hoping for a Cinderella-like effect, and it worked because the palace posted a picture of her shoe on Instagram with a caption asking if it was Cinderella. I said Cinderella. Cinderella. Send. 75% of all Americans now prioritize finances over love when finding a partner to marry.
What if you're in love with finances? Bada bing, bada boom. There you go. There you go. Hey, 2 birds, 1 stone. Regardless. Okay, so what's the end goal? What are we supposed to do now that we know that, hey, the economy is all just being fluctuated by Ozempic and Taylor Swift. There's nothing else really going on. Just Taylor Swift and Ozempic are moving the economy. Oh boy, can't believe anything anymore. They're just making up all these things.
If I were the government and I knew World War III was approaching and the proverbial day X was on the horizon, I would not warn you. I would keep order. I would keep people calmed. Why? Because panic, not missiles, will break the country first. So the playbook, if you're the government, is simple. If you're preparing for war, you must project peace at all costs. This is the pacification paradox. The closer you get to war, the more you'll hear about peace. This is a deliberate strategy in which leaders project peace, normalcy, and market stability in order to suppress panic and preserve freedom of action while simultaneously accelerating covert mobilization and war preparations. Why is this a paradox? Well, the more peace is signaled, the closer large-scale escalation may be. Pacification buys time and prevents any pre-strike chaos, but it also conceals the rising risk. For the sake of continuity of government, you as an individual will not be forewarned about the coming calamity. This is called the noble lie. Governments justify withholding information from the public because it's perceived to be in the interests of the greater good. In the run-up to World War III, the gap between reality and rhetoric will become more apparent. Reassuring messages will be accompanied with more military deployments, border fortifications, stockpiling contracts, surveillance of adversarial countries, and communication tests. And we have the Alaska Summit, a largely unexpected meeting between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin in Alaska, one characterized by the slogan, "Pursuing Peace." Here the red carpet was rolled out to Vladimir Putin on the promise that a peaceful resolution to the conflict was surely on the horizon. And what happened after this summit? Well, only a few days later, the US pledged long-range missile capabilities to Ukraine, and the war continued to intensify in ways that it hadn't up until that point. So if World War III was imminent, what would you do if you were the government? Step number 1, maintain order at all costs. Prevent market turmoil, civil unrest, looting, protests, panic buying, mass evacuations, all of which could cripple society before the first strike. The imperative would be to keep the stock market propped up no matter what. If this means cutting rates to near zero and accepting a weaker dollar, even half its current value, as long as people see their accounts in the green, this should keep the economy aloft.
We have the hottest economy on earth. We have the hottest country. We just set a new stock market record again.
It's going to be a rude awakening when we wake up one day and we find out the dollar that we think is monetary and financially worth $1 is not really $1 and it's just pennies upon pennies. And thing that we've just completely depleted of its monetary value. You don't understand. Hey, diversify your portfolio. Don't just invest everything into one basket. Did I already say this in another video? I have to keep repeating this. Emily, what are you doing to me? It's okay. Emily's always prepared. She was prepared for Kafka 6 feet. She's going to be prepared for WW3. We're going to be prepared for all the things. Hey, are you? Do you have a plan B? Why not? What? You see, we started off small, man. We're not no size queens here. Start small, then grow big. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes.
The Holocaust. There's many theories on the Holocaust, and I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to go into the remote view that I did on the Holocaust. The Holocaust didn't just attack Jewish people. It attacked everybody that they could get their hands on, basically. And it was basically, it was directed from outside of this reality through, obviously, the energies of Hitler and the people that worked for Hitler. But it was an alien attack on the human race. When I went into it to see what had happened at the Holocaust, it was basically, they were trying to find a way of basically separating a human being from themselves, like taking them to near death, but not killing them. And this, so their brain would then be deprived of female energy, their heart consciousness energy. They would have less heart energy in their body, and their mind would be very vulnerable. In the vulnerability of their mind, not having their heart consciousness, then they could easily be taken over by reptilians. That was basically the whole agenda. So the MK Ultra started. It was basically the practice on human beings, experimentals to practice on human beings in order for they could be taken over, and how much could they go through before they didn't die, basically.
I'm so lost. I'm so lost what the message was here, Emily. What are you saying? What are you trying to say? That like the reptilians were the ones that were controlling all this? But like the Holocaust did happen. You can't just, what, is this a person like a naysayer? She said none of them were unalived? What? What was the message? Did I miss something?
What if the dream of owning your own home was never yours to begin with, but theirs? BlackRock just bought 50,000 homes at around 300,000 each. Then with a stroke of the pen, they sold a handful back to themselves at more than double, 700,000. Overnight, your neighborhood's value just skyrocketed. Sounds good, right? Wrong, because now you can't afford to live there anymore. Think about it. These giant funds aren't competing with you for a house. They're outbidding entire communities, reshaping the market, and trapping families into renting forever. It's not about one house or one block. It's about controlling the very idea of ownership. When corporations own the roofs over our heads, what happens to freedom? What happens when the so-called American dream is nothing more than a contract with Wall Street, where the price is set by the same hands that hold the strings? And here's the kicker. They're not breaking the law. They're using it, buying in bulk, inflating the market, pushing regular people out while smiling for the cameras. If a corporation can buy your entire neighborhood in a single transaction, do you really own your future, or is the dream already stolen? You be the judge. If you're awake, you already know what to do. Hit the link in our bio and join our free underground newsletter.
Wait, I'm awake, but I don't know what to do. Wait, what? What, do I have to now compete with the corporations and start buying up all the houses with the money that I don't have, where I have to go to a bank that also doesn't have the money and then gives me this arbitrary money and that I have to pay back in debt? Something's off here. I'm in debt, the bank's somehow in debt, but they keep giving me and loaning out money from debt that they don't actually have, and then we keep bailing out the banks, and the problem's bigger than we know, but we just keep pretending like there's no standard, and we just keep going, hey, $1 is worth $1. Okay, buddy, have you seen all the other countries where the value depletes? How long? I'm spiraling. You did it, Emily. I'm spiraling. Hey, what's the solution? How do we combat the corporations that are buying up all these homes? Hey, don't raise the value. And then again, if they raise the value and I sell, can I just go to a different place never mind. That's exactly what they want. I sell, then I can't buy the next place.
Pure thinking kind of way that the Pleiadians show up in the world. Can you elaborate more on that?
They don't refer to it as a life. It's a cycle. Do you come back and relive that cycle? They'll figure it out how to take away the aging portion of their DNA so they don't age like we age. They have ways of correcting these and healing quickly. And what they use is a light therapy. They have no schools. They're all taught, because they're so advanced in their technology, they're all taught through artificial intelligence. They strive for the utopian society, the philosophical perfect society. One way of doing it is without money, because you know what money does to our society and what has done over the years. So they don't have that problem. And as long as they maintain that, they don't need laws. They don't need a military, though they do have a military. They don't need police force, because everything is standardized for them and they live within those guidelines.
Okay, so what's the end goal for us? What are we supposed to do? Why do these guys always explain everyone else's things but never tell us the solution to our own problems? Hey, I just want to get to that piece. At the same time, I kind of also want to get to that town or city that was hotboxed by the police department accidentally from that other video that we watched. That would be a great utopia to be. Never mind. We're going to do 4 more.
United States Congresswoman just confirmed that we're not alone. United States Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna was recently on the Joe Rogan Experience, and she just confirmed what we all already knew. I'm going to roll some footage from this interview, and you really need to listen to this. I encourage you to watch the whole thing, but she touches on interdimensional beings, and that they're real. The U.S. government knows they're real, and there may be even some biblical things that tie in with it, as I often say. Watch this, let me know what you think in the comments.
When you say interdimensional beings, that they know that these are interdimensional beings, how do they know that?
Based on testimony, would be based on witnesses that have come forward. But what I can tell you is
witnesses just were told that they were
that they've seen things. And what I can tell you without getting into classified conversations is that there have been incidences that I believe where very credible people have reported that there have been movement outside of time and space. Have I seen a portal open? No. Have I seen a spaceship? Personally, no. Have I seen evidence of this? Yes. Have I seen photo documentation of aircraft that I believe were not made by mankind? Yes. Is there multiple events that go back to, I would argue, maybe even before the time of Christ that have documented this in text? Yes.
You said that you've seen evidence. Like, what kind of evidence have you seen?
I have seen photos. I have seen...
what have you seen photos of?
So I was in a skiff, and I can't discuss all that was in a skiff, but what I can tell you is based on the photos that I've seen, I'm very confident that there's things out there that have not been created by mankind. Well, that's a disinformation campaign to get people to shut up about it. And that's a problem. We know that the U.S. government has not exactly been clean, and a lot of what they've done with the American people, specifically to the topic of UFOs.
Which makes you think that it's probably because there's something there.
I'm so confused. How do you get on the Joe Rogan podcast? Can you just say all kinds of crazy things and then boom, you're in? How do I get there? Hey, I want to say crazy. I believe all this stuff too. Hey. Let me spiral on the Joe Rogan. You'll see. Cool. I also know there are entities and beings that are not created by mankind, just like mankind itself, not created by mankind. Who created us? Exactly. Why wouldn't he create others?
Queen Elizabeth. She's dead now, but she was alive once, and she was involved in my childhood when I was a kid. She was involved in the programming. So she and the whole royal family decided what path that I was going to go on, what programming I was going to take. And so I remember being in front of the whole royal family as a child. I also met her at a cathedral in London, where they also conducted a programming on me, drugged me. And then I also met her again at a ritual in Derbyshire, big manor house. I was one of many children. The handler walked me up to the Queen before the ritual, and she scanned me. And the way she scanned me was like a computer. It was like I was, you imagine what it feels like to be a packet of pasta or something, and it gets scanned, and you scan it. It was like that. She was not human. She worked like a computer. She scanned me, and when she scanned me, she said, "My heart's not right." She said, she's still not broken," kind of thing, because they were programming, and part of the programming is to get rid of the heart consciousness, so much so that you don't become the person that you should be here.
Wait, what? So like she looked at you and then she told you things, and now you're like telling us the things that she's not right? Well, what's wrong with you? Is your heart okay or is it not? I'm just trying to figure it all out. But now this lady may be in like her own perils in her own mind for no reason. Hey, people judge all the time, but just because they judge doesn't mean you believe what they say. Hey, was there any truth to her statements? Is she really doing the things? Oh boy, now she's RIP, but like I start to wonder. I thought she's done so much good. I guess behind closed doors they were doing other things.
How did they make these maps? How did they get this bird-eye perspective on all cities across the world at about the same time? I refer to this as World Fair mapping because if you notice, all of the buildings are very clearly illustrated. And this is important because all of these buildings were founded, not built. Founders keepers logic applied to them, and if you could prove that you founded the building and not anyone else, you could keep it. I think this potentially went on for hundreds of years, and colonial rights are squatters' rights.
Wait, founded, but then who built it? I mean, the buildings were dated at some point, right? Like, why would you just claim a building that's gonna be demolished of sorts? Obviously, something must have transpired if it was founded. I don't believe this. There's no way. And then what? Like, over time, they just start, like, replacing the buildings and slowly upgrading it so we would never know the exact history that is hidden underneath or underground? I'm just trying to figure it all out. We're gonna do one more to end them all.
What I found interesting, people mentioned that they shipped all the steel over to China. Not all of it.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the other 9/11 memorials?
The other? I've been to the main ones on Ground Zero.
Check these things out. There's 9/11 memorials all over the country. And when you see this, I found these things offensive. You see what you're looking at right there? That's a steel beam from the World Trade Centers stuck through a globe. And this is over at NORAD. But now I'm going to just kind of just show you a little montage of all these things all around the United States. Is beams from the World Trade Centers displayed in some kind of grotesque fashion where they're all just bent up, rusted, destroyed looking. Tell me that honors somebody. I don't think that it does. What I see right there, to me, it looks like somebody put a cigar out in an ashtray.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Does that honor anyone?
I think the only thing it does is honor the evil of their ritual by continually tricking an unsuspecting and naive public to pay homage to something they don't even understand.
Yeah, they definitely don't understand because they don't even know who actually started this whole events in order to have those towers go. Never mind. Don't come after me. Wow, this is a crazy one to end on. I didn't even know there were other statues of, or even things that were being used as like memorabilia of sorts. It feels like a weird thing, but at the same time, you weren't in that timeline and you won't understand. Hey, they moved all those metals out very quickly, and a lot of people were saying they've never seen that much excavation done as fast as they did. And now I'm like, hey, were these statues really needed, or were they more like placeholders for the theorists at the time that were like, hey, all the metal's been melted, or they used polymers of sorts, or there was some type of controlled thing that happened in order to, and maybe they put the statues up so like you don't ask questions. How can you ask questions when you're looking at the beams right there? We used them in the stat. Sorry, don't forget jet fuel melts. Sorry. Oh my god, here we go again, Emily. Why can't you just let me be? Hey, guess what? You made it to the end. How'd you do? I'm gonna be spiraling from the beginning till the end. Hopefully the next video is a little bit better. No, it's gonna also have spiraling. Hey, I know you like the spirals, so guess what? There should be videos on the screen right now. Click on either one of them to continue that goon fix. The one in the middle, you can subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Wake up.